So here we are going up what was the 7th hole in 1901. So the tee would have been in the vicinity of the buggy that we've just flown over the top of there, which is just in front of today's elevated 6th tee. So basically we're going back up what is today's 13th hole in the opposite direction. So in 1901 this started life as the 7th hole, and it replaced the previous 7th hole, which was the crater hole, with the green for the crater hole in the hollow on the left of the picture now. So this hole in 1901 measured 308 yards, and the green is in a little shelf just over the bridle path on the 13th, so it'll be just coming into view now. So that was there for a few years, but then there was another extension to the golf course in 1910, and the hole was extended by over 100 yards by moving the green further back into the middle of those bushes which are just in front of us. So on the right hand side there now you can see the flag that I've placed. So that was where the original green is, which is now on the left hand side of the 13th. And then in 1910, when the green was moved back, it was moved back into the middle of those bushes and trees which are in the middle of the picture. I put a flag in there that would actually be on the front of that would be the front of the green. The middle of the green would be slap bang in the middle of where those trees and bushes are now. In late 1930s, Darwin described this hole from the Burnham and Berrow Golf Club official handbook. The 6th is a thoroughly good two-shotter with an imposing second over an imposing bunker to a pretty green nestling beyond it. Tom Scott, the golf writer and former editor of Golf Illustrated, also wrote a description in the late 1950s, early 60s for the club handbook. I must warn you that the 6th, 432 yards long, is a 4-hole, and not an easy one at that. The drive is important, it always is, but here the 2nd is of even greater importance, for it has to be played over a diagonal row of grass bunkers to a green which has been most cunningly sited and is not easy to strike. So the diagonal row of grass bunkers has disappeared. We've just flown over now, and that is where the front part of what is today's 13th fairway, and this was regraded back in the early 1990s when the current 13th hole was extended by moving the tee further back. And this hole finished life as the 6th when the original 2nd was abandoned back in the 1920s, and it was in play for over 60 years, this hole, until it was replaced by the current 6th hole that we play today, and that was built in 1976 to make room for new holes over that piece of land when the course was rerouted around the west side of the church.